Have you had personal contact with anyone at FBI headquarters about the Hunter Biden investigation?
I don't recollect the answer to that question, but the FBI works for the Justice Department. It's.
I'm sorry. You don't recollect. You don't recollect whether you've talked with anybody at FBI headquarters about an investigation into the president's son?
I don't believe that I did. I promised the Senate when I came before it for confirmation that I would leave Mr. Weiss in place and that I would not interfere with his investigation.
Okay. Did you ever?
I have kept that promise.
All right. Have you had personal contact with anybody at the Baltimore field office on the Hunter Biden matter?
No.
On July 10, 2023, U.S. Attorney David Weiss told Senator Lindsey Graham, quote, I had discussions with departmental officials regarding potential appointment under 28 U.S.C. Section 515, which would have allowed me to file charges in a district outside my own without the partnership of the local U.S. attorney, end quote. With whom did Mr. Weiss have those discussions?
I'm not going to get into the internal deliberations of the department.
Oh, but you must, sir. This is important for us. We have oversight responsibility over your department, and we need these answers.
As appropriate, necessary for Mr. Weiss to have conversations with the department. I made clear that if he wanted to bring a case in any jurisdiction, he would be able to do that. The way you do that is to get an order signed by the Attorney General called a 515 order. I promised he would be able to do that, and he in his letters made clear he understood he would be able to do that.
Okay. Can you tell us about any briefings or discussions that you personally have had with Mr. Weiss regarding any and all federal investigations of Hunter Biden?
I'm going to say again, I promised the Senate that I would not interfere with Mr. Weiss.
So you have not, I'm just, under oath today, your testimony is you have not had any discussions with Mr. Weiss about this matter?
Under oath, my testimony today is that I promised the Senate I would not intrude in his investigation. I do not intend to discuss internal Justice Department deliberations, whether or not I had them.
Oh, okay. So your testimony today is you're not going to tell us whether you've had discussions with Mr. Weiss.
My testimony today is I told the committee that I would not interfere. I made clear that Mr. Weiss would have the authority to bring cases that he thought were appropriate.
Okay.
Mr. Weiss's letter.
Okay, let me stop you. For sake of time, sir, are you aware that FBI officials have come before this committee and they have stated that there was a cumbersome bureaucratic process that Mr. Weiss had to go through to bring charges in another judicial district? You know that?
I'm not aware, but that's not true. There's nothing cumbersome about the process.
So those whistleblowers are lying to us under oath? Those whistleblowers are lying?
I didn't say that. Their description of the process is cumbersome is an opinion. It's not a fact question. All I have to do is sign a section.
Let me get to the fact. Mr. Weiss has been the lead prosecutor on the Hunter Biden case since 2018, correct?
I'm sorry?
Mr. Weiss has been the lead prosecutor on the Hunter Biden case since 2018. Now, here's the question.
He's been the lead prosecutor since he was appointed by President Trump.
Okay. Why? Let me ask you. Why has the Justice Department dragged this investigation out for so long? Does it really take years to determine if Hunter Biden lied on a federal form related to purchasing a firearm?
You know, I don't know how this guy continues to keep his job, because every single time he goes in front of a committee to answer questions, he's always saying, you know, either it's confidential or he doesn't remember. How does he get away with answering like that? This gentleman asking him questions was challenging him, because he goes, when he asked him the first question, he answered in a way where he was stumbling his words. He was kind of hesitant, fumbling around, you know, with what he was going to say. You can tell he was like, crap, you know, how am I going to say this? What am I going to say? And he says how he doesn't recollect talking to anyone in the FBI. And so the gentleman asking the question said to him, wait a minute. You don't remember if you asked any questions to the FBI in regards to the president's son, Hunter Biden. You don't remember that? You don't recollect that? And then he goes into saying, which is so silly, it doesn't even make sense. When I, you know, took my position, I'm paraphrasing here. When I took my position, I promised the Senate that I would not investigate. I would not interfere with any investigations. That's what he keeps on saying a few times during this interview. And the thing that is just so it doesn't make sense is this. If he oversees the FBI and investigations, checking in with the investigations and asking questions just to get a status on how things are going, that's not interfering. Now, finding out that information and then encouraging or directing and ordering someone to go in a different direction, that's interfering. So it blows my mind this guy just keeps on keeping his job and gets away with how he answers these questions.